why the 50-30-20 rule fails most Africans, and how to fix it. The 50-30-20 rule is one of the most popular money frameworks in the world. 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings and investments. It sounds clean, logical, and responsible. And for many people in developed economies, it works reasonably well. But here is the uncomfortable truth. For most Africans, this rule does not fail because they are undisciplined. It fails because it was never designed for their reality. Many Africans try the rule, feel frustrated, and quietly give up. They blame themselves. They assume they are bad with money. But the problem is not the person. The problem is the framework. In many African economies, income is unstable. Salaries fluctuate. Side hustles rise and fall. Family obligations are unpredictable. Inflation is aggressive. And basic needs consume far more than 50% of income. When rent, transport, food, electricity, data, school fees, healthcare, and family support are combined, the so-called needs category alone can swallow 70 or even 80% of earnings. So when someone earning a modest income tries to force their life into the 50-30-20 rule, one thing happens. Pressure. Because the math does not respect reality. The rule assumes predictable income. It assumes strong public systems. It assumes minimal family dependency. It assumes inflation is slow and manageable. It assumes access to low-risk investment vehicles. Those assumptions do not hold for most Africans. This is why many people follow the rule for 1 or 2 months, then abandon it entirely. Not because they don't want discipline, but because the structure is unrealistic. Another major flaw is the wants category. In many African households, what looks like a want is actually a social necessity. Supporting extended family, contributing to community events, helping with emergencies. These expenses are not optional in the same way the rule assumes. Ignoring them creates guilt and social pressure. Including them breaks the rule. Then there is the 20% savings target. On paper, it sounds responsible. In reality, asking someone who is still financially fragile to lock away 20% without first building protection is dangerous. One emergency can wipe out months of discipline. When that happens repeatedly, people stop saving altogether. The rule also does not account for financial shocks. Medical emergencies, sudden job loss, currency devaluation, political instability. These are not rare events. They are part of the environment. Any financial system that ignores this will fail emotionally, not just mathematically. So what is the fix? The solution is not abandoning budgeting. The solution is replacing rigid rules with adaptive systems. Instead of starting with percentages, Africans must start with protection. Before savings, before investing, before lifestyle upgrades, income must be shielded. Emergency buffers come first. Even if it is small, even if it grows slowly. Without protection, discipline collapses under pressure. Next comes stabilization. This means reducing volatility before chasing growth, paying down high-interest debt, simplifying expenses, creating predictable monthly obligations. Stability creates breathing room. Breathing room creates consistency. Only after stability does structured saving make sense. And this saving does not need to be 20%. It needs to be sustainable. 5% done consistently beats 20% done briefly. Wealth compounds through endurance, not intensity. The biggest mindset shift is this. Saving is not about percentages. It is about survival first, then leverage. Another fix is separating lifestyle from identity. Many Africans feel pressure to look successful before they are secure. This leads to premature upgrades. New phones, new cars, bigger rent. These decisions kill the budget quietly. The fix is redefining success internally before expressing it externally. The rule also ignores income growth. Budgeting alone will not fix financial pressure if income remains stagnant. Africans must budget with an income expansion mindset. Skills acquisition, multiple income streams, small businesses, freelancing. Budgeting must coexist with earning strategy. Instead of 50, 30, 20, a more realistic African framework looks like this. Protect first, stabilize second, grow third, enjoy last. Protection includes emergency funds and insurance where possible. Stabilization includes debt control and expense clarity. Growth includes skill investment and assets. Enjoyment comes last, not as a fixed percentage, but as a reward for progress. Another critical adjustment is flexible budgeting. Monthly budgets must be reviewed frequently, not annually. When income fluctuates, budgets must adapt. Rigidity creates failure. Flexibility creates resilience. The rule also does not account for inflation properly. When prices rise rapidly, static percentages become obsolete. Africans must budget dynamically, adjusting categories as the cost of living shifts. Finally, the biggest fix is psychological. People must stop feeling ashamed for struggling with a rule that was never built for them. Financial intelligence is contextual. What works in one economy may fail in another. True financial wisdom is not copying rules blindly. It is understanding principles and applying them intelligently within your environment. The goal is not to follow a famous rule. The goal is to build control, stability, and long-term freedom. When Africans stop forcing themselves into systems that don't fit and start building systems that respect their reality, money stops being a constant source of stress and starts becoming a tool. And that is how financial progress actually begins.